straight up, he can do okay. You got to remember on Orbital Shipyard, he's so spread out. Going Hydras, he had the correct defense against it, but he was just so spread out he couldn't deal with them. There were so many legends to deal with. There was a little bit of the map architecture getting himself in the way. But here is a map where the player in the top right-hand corner easily can go double Stargate again. It is the green Protoss representing Psystorm Gaming. Put your hands together for PiLiPiLi. This is the map I've seen PiLiPiLi do that double Stargate oh so often. Every once in a while, just one Stargate to go Oracle into a couple voids.
And PiLiPiLi's opponent spawning down in the bottom left. It is our red Zerg, Team Ascension's Voltz.
And I think Voltz has to play standard and just maybe not get lucky, but take a couple good engagements. I don't think he's going to be able to take apart PiLiPiLi with anything cheeky. And especially on a map like Dusk Towers, you have your pocket base. The Protoss is going to have a majority of their pylons in their third. It's going to be very hard to overwhelm PiLiPiLi with some sort of sneaky play and or mass roach-esque thing.
Yeah, we again have that natural base being taken for Voltz in the more forward position where the third would normally be, but at this point it is a 3 before pool, so it is it's not too surprising coming from Voltz. It is it's pretty standard still for PvZ.
It's one of those things where Voltz in his head is saying almost exactly what we're saying. You know what? If I just need to get a strong macro economy up, I know PiLiPiLi won't punish me early on for it, so I can get that up, and maybe I can overwhelm PiLiPiLi. But let's just be honest, PiLiPiLi's been playing so good in the OSC finals last week. He went 3-2 versus Snoot. He pretty much beat one of the players that was like, this is the best foreigner. Well, PiLiPiLi kind of beat him. It was really funny because PiLiPiLi, I remember I was casting him, and he said he was so nervous the next game because he had to fight Kelazur, and I think he went 0-3 versus Kelazur, but he was so much adrenaline, his hand was shaking, and he couldn't actually focus on the game.
Oh, yeah. It looks like, again, the Nexus first there from PiLiPiLi into double gateway. Maybe again we'll see that double adapt harass. Will we see it? We are waiting for those gateways. Oh, and that Cybercore is just now finished, so there we go. There go the 2 adapts.
I was waiting on that. I was looking, he's got enough gas. What is up?
I know, I was looking at it too. I'm like, minerals and gas. Oh, right, the Cybercore isn't finished.
With that, though, I mean, he's not going to commit to more than those 2 adepts, and I actually had a long conversation with Puck about this one time. I was saying, hey, could you go maybe 4 to 6 adepts with the Mama Core? And I've always just got the response, it stunts your economy too much, and yes, you can get damage done, but generally, if the Zerg smells that, they pump Queens, and on Dusk Towers, as it's one of those bases like Orbital Shipyard, or pardon me, one of those maps like Orbital Shipyard, where every base you get into, you're farther into the enemy territory, so you just get sectioned off easier with Queens and such, but I'd love to see a really big adept push, but I highly doubt it, at least early on.
Yeah, and at this point, since Voltz did go 3 before pool, there would be a window, but that window would be closing pretty quick, because then Voltz can really get an army going. These adepts, though, looks like they will get a couple drone kills here. However, they are surrounded, and the Queens will manage to pick them off. Oh, kills a drone, does manage to get 1 fate. Oh, no, both do fall there.
Actually, it gets a total of 6 worker kills in the end. Very nice play by PiLiPiLi. And what I love with those early adept plays is they're purely that. They're sent over, it's like an oracle thing, but it's so much cheaper. It's just 2 adepts, let's get some damage done. They're not meant to survive. They're not meant to get more than that damage, but that puts PiLiPiLi at a decent worker lead at the moment. Or not overall, but he's got 6 kills. And he stunts the opponent's growth. He makes them pull workers. It's so useful to stunt your opponent's economy. It's so simple.
We do have that Twilight Council again for PiLiPiLi. No surprise there. Robo behind it. And a few more gates being added on. Oh, and it is the Resonating Glaives upgrade, so we are going to see more adepts here. Maybe it will be an adept push, DrennoC.
And I would like that. I think pretty much PiLiPiLi, how he's been playing this. PvT, I go Blink Stalker. PvZ on Ruins of Ceres, I go Blink Stalker, but in all the other PvZs, I varied up a little. He's got an Adept play, he's got a Stargate play, and I like that. You can see he's already curtaining off his third base, getting ready to do a big move out, whatever. And For Voltz, he's got 3 queens ready. He's got a creep spread on the way, which potentially could be a little bit greedy, but he will be choosing to go layer with +1 melee, and I assume it's going to be Ling Hydra. I feel like that's what he goes with. Maybe he tries to get up to Ultra, but I assume Ling Hydra is what he'll go down.
And if it is Ling Hydra, that is going to be a lot easier for PiLiPiLi to deal with than just straight up roaches. So this is working already. This army comp choice would be working quite well for PiLiPiLi. Resonating glaives are a little more than halfway done. Adepts are starting to be shaded across the map. Voltz does see that though with his Overlord. So he will get a little bit of time to prepare here.
Decent amount of queens, though, at the front, spreading their creep. That's a ton of creep, man. That is a lot of creepers right there. But with a big adept influx, these queens have to be very careful. Only 3 are not going to be able to hold their own. And there is no transfuse after getting the creep tumors down. Lings, I guess, 4 Lings going for a flank kappa. More Lings on the way, 36 Lings. And that's not going to leave that much room for Hydras, not going to leave that much income. So this may potentially be it. Lings are going into a meat grinder. If the queens can be killed, the rest of the army is going to fail. The adepts are doing a remarkable job. 2 spines go up into the natural base, pardon me, the 3rd base. And Warp Prism looks like it's going to warp in even more adepts, and I guess this is a situation where it's PiLiPiLi. I wish you'd have loved it with PTs, but for now, drones are being pulled, and PiLiPiLi is once again going to do a lot of economic damage, lose his force, but he may not even lose anything here, and there's no Hydras on the way. The big influx of Lings cost almost the entire bank of the Zerg, and PiLi, he's not even microing here. He's just like, cool, I won.
It's getting Blink now behind this, so if this adept attack somehow doesn't work, then Blink Stalkers are going to be the follow-up. But drones now are being picked off even more by these adepts.
And in focusing down the station pit, that's when you know there's a lot of adepts. Like, we're going to target down buildings now with our 10 attack or whatever it is versus them. Not too much in total. It's a total of 10 versus buildings. They're eventually going to get the Lurker Den. They take that down. Blink in and... Voltz literally, I guess, was maybe 5-6 seconds late. I mean, on making Hydras. Pardon me, the attack of PiLiPiLi was like 5-6 seconds earlier than Voltz needed. Then he could have got Hydras.
Yeah, but Spine Crawler's now falling. There are infestors on the field, but
Pathogen glands can't even fungal for now. They can get out 1 infested Terran.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's just not enough to really make a difference here.
Economy is in shambles. It is 66 probes to 28 drones. Couple spines are up, but PiLiPiLi is just wrecking Voltz off the back of this. We don't even have anything in production. He's just microing. You see 2,500 minerals in the bank. Hopefully he's got, what has he got? 8 gates. He can easily do a huge warping of Zealots and punish Voltz, finishing him off. Voltz will not give up, though. He does not want to put it at a 2-0.
Yeah, the Adepts, they are getting taken out by that Spine Crawler pretty well. However, behind this, it looks like Pili is just kind of macroing up. He is getting Stalkers. They are Blink Stalkers. We have Disruptors coming out as well. Interesting choice here for Volt. He is getting Vipers. However, Vipers, especially in LOTV, are pretty strong.
Going to be a massed Stalker off the back of this for PiLiPiLi. He has Blink, and he's going to secure his 4th base. Well, as I said, the economy of Voltz is in shambles. However, he does have the Viper. He does have the option to take just a remarkable fight, especially with Fungals, but he used a lot of his energy, and PiLiPiLi's moving out across the map. Once again, takes out an Overlord in the middle of the map. There's simply not enough time for Voltz to acquire enough energy to make a difference in this fight coming up.
Yeah, the Blink Stalkers are just beginning their march forward. Voltz can see his army as the creep is being picked off. Is getting more Speedlings, getting more Infestors, trying to place some Spine Crawlers here as well. Voltz is going to have to take an amazing encounter here.
See, there are 4 Infestors who can fungal. However, there's no actual army to finish off the army once the fungals are done. Roachborn is on the way to be able to get something out of Voltz, but his economy is just so dang hard. He's been droning off the back of this. Not even droning now. And he just is nowhere the same income that PiLiPiLi has, and PiLiPiLi moving across the map. It is relatively even army supplies, yet 24 Stalkers, 2 Disruptors against 32 Lings and 6 Infestors, realistically. The Infestors, they can do a lot, but I fear PiLiPiLi is just going to out-micro him. Yeah,
PiLiPiLi, I agree, would probably out-micro at this point, and there's definitely a lot better macro here now for PiLiPiLi after what PiLi did to Voltz.
There's the one blinding cloud for Voltz. He just used it and it's gone. He's now going to have to sap some more energy from his hatch, but he's got one blinding cloud at a time and not that much more.
Yeah, PiLiPiLi, I think he's waiting to really just get a huge army out here. He's got his disruptors now. These disruptors can do some tremendous damage.
I mean, potentially, PiLiPiLi could lose a battle to the Fungals, but once the Disruptors are out and the rest of the army, it's looking pretty darn grim. Neither Disruptor gets off. Actually, I think one of the Disruptors gets off, but either way, here's a big blank straight on top of the army, and that's going to be it. One Fungal was successful, but there is the GG. PiLiPiLi 2-0 in this best-of-5 series, only one game away from victory.
GG, well played. That damage that Pili did with those Adepts was just insane. Did so much.
Yeah, and it's just killed his economy, couldn't do anything off the back of that. And even before that, he had killed, 6-7 drones, hit the economy a little bit. PiLiPiLi is just playing so well at the moment, and Voltz is trying to hold on. He's playing valiantly, but he's just not quite able to puncture PiLiPiLi's armor.
Yeah, and the third game is starting up now. It is on Prion Terraces, so that, I believe, was Voltz's choice. So we'll see what Voltz does in this next game. He has to win this game if he wants a chance to bring this back. If Pili wins this next game, he will be the winner of tonight's Rival Weekly.
And that would put him at, 5 wins? Five tournament wins, 6 losses in the ASL.
Yeah, and he came in second place on the other one that he did not win. So he has got so many RSL points right now.